Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are here for the first time, my name is Brejahmellayt and I welcome you to the family. And if you guys are already a subscriber, guys, welcome back to my channel for yet another video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, don't forget to press that subscribe button. You don't want to miss out on the good topics that I'm talking about. But from today's title, you can see that we are talking about something a little bit different. I decided to do a reaction on the Sex and the City reboot and Just Like That. I have a lot of things to say, so let's get right into this video. Guys, so I'm just gonna give you a little rundown on the show. If you've never watched the show, it's basically about Sex and the City is about four girlfriends who live in Manhattan. They have their careers, they're talking about their careers, their loves, and of course, Sex in the City. Duh, the name of the title. Now, it's a very interesting show because I realized that watching it over now as an adult, I actually recently just started watching it again. Watching it now, it's like so much different because I understand it more than when I watched it when I was in my teens. It made no sense to me back then because I didn't go through none of that or I didn't understand any of that. But now as an adult, I'm like, yeah, this stuff definitely resonates with me as an adult. It's crazy that something that was made almost 20 years ago is literally playing out right now in this day and age. You know what I mean? So Sex and the City definitely has a mark on the world and always will, because it's a show that was literally way ahead of its time. Way ahead of its time. It was a little bit unrealistic because, you know, a lot of the things the ladies were doing or could afford, it was just like the salaries that y'all really make, you wouldn't be really affording that. But that wasn't the point. It was a whole aesthetic thing, and I loved it, still love it. Diehard fan, will forever be a diehard fan. Real life Carrie Bradshaw, period. But I would definitely say that if you have not watched the show or you haven't watched it in a while and you want to watch a new series, I would say go back in. It gives the new series so much more meaning, so much more value to see them reboot it in the new series and Just Like That, okay? A lot of people have asked also, why is the show called And Just Like That? Now, if you watch the series, Carrie said that a lot. She said that a lot when she was writing her column, when she was talking to her friends, or when she was just giving just minimal voiceover. She would always say, and just like that. So this name didn't come out of thin air. Like, they literally took it from the original series and just gave it to the new one, which I thought was symbolic. It meant something. You know, they thought about it before they decided to launch this show, which to me, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love symbolism. I love nostalgia. It's just everything that I expected it to be. Now we're going to touch on the first episode. The first episode, clearly you're just figuring out where all the ladies are in their lives. Charlotte, of course, happy with her husband Harry. You get to see her two daughters, Lily and Rose, grow up. You see Miranda and Steve. You see Brady is all grown up now. You see Big and Carrie, you know, living their lavish life with no children. Love it for them. And, you know, they explain why Samantha is no longer in the show. So obviously Kim Cattrall decided not to regain her role as Samantha Jones. To me personally, and I repeat, this is a personal opinion, a lot of people feel like, you know, Samantha needs to come back. To me personally, I felt like in the series ending, Samantha was 50. Clearly you were older than the other women. So if 20 years ago you were 50, you're 70 now. You know what I mean? What are you really going to be talking about? Samantha never was the type to settle down or any of that. So I didn't understand the need to bring her back, because what are you going to be talking about? Every other woman on the show was settled down, had a family, whatever. Samantha, that wasn't your lane. So I didn't feel like her coming back was such of a big deal, because what would her storyline have been? I repeat, personal opinion. Loved her in this series. I love Samantha Jones. She was hilarious. She was fun. She was energetic. You know, she didn't care. She just did whatever. But I just felt like now as adults, I just feel like she wasn't needed as much. You know what I mean? Of course, I would love to see Kim Cattrall regain her role as Samantha Jones, but I wasn't like, oh my God, she has to come back. The show is not worth watching without her. Like, that's just how I felt. You know what I mean? Personal opinion. Also in the first episode, there's a lot of symbolism in the episode. A lot. So they also showed us how they brought back the flowers with Carrie. It was a thing in the series where they used to make her wear a lot of flowers and then take it away. A lot of flowers and take it away. And it was always an interesting thing to see. So the fact that, you know, in the first episode, she had the big flower on. She goes to shoe closet and she's like, hello, lovers. You know, just any shoe lover, that was a moment for us. And she picks out, clearly, the Manolo Blahniks, the iconic wedding shoes. Originally, these shoes were not $995 before the show came out. They were about $595. So the fact that after the show they became iconic is beyond me. But then again, it was Sex and the City. Like, that show was just, the show was ahead of its time to me personally. It was ahead of its time because there's so much, like I said before, that the show definitely resonates with this day and age for sure. But I just loved how they gave us the Big and Carrie. They made us fall in love with Big and Carrie all over again. The nostalgia of the first episode was phenomenal. I absolutely loved it so much. It just brought me back to the series and the two movies. Like, oh my God, this is why I'm here. Now, don't get me wrong. Big and Carrie's relationship was toxic. But you knew that it was something where they just had to be together. Like, it was one of those couples in the shows where you're like, listen, I don't care how much I loved another ex, they gotta be together. They have to make sure they end up together in the end. It was one of those, you know what I mean? So I loved how it just gave me nostalgia and just brought me back into a lovey-dovey spot to see Big and Carrie back on the screen together. All right, so my last opinion for episode 1 clearly is the death of Mr. Big. I am still in mourning. I am not gonna lie. I am mourning a character. Yes, I am. I just feel like it hurt. I actually cried. I was on the phone with my sister on FaceTime and I cried. I couldn't believe that they killed off Mr. Big. Michael Patrick King, you're a genius, okay? Because I was not expecting that. It hurt, but I get it. You know what I mean? Because they had to make the show realistic. Like, of course, we want the lovey-dovey and all the happy ending. But let's be real. There's women out there that really do lose their husbands. That, you know, have to start life over. That have to figure it all over again. So to see Carrie have to navigate through all the stages of grief and still live life and maybe find love again, that just makes me want to watch the show even more. The death of Mr. Big, it hurt. You know what I mean? Like, it definitely hurt. We love Mr. Big. John James Preston, he's phenomenal. Chris Noth, the actor, you portrayed Mr. Big phenomenally. I could not have wanted anybody else to play that character. The scene in the shower where she's in the shower, the Manolos get all wet. It's more symbolism because it's like she has on the shoes and she loses him and the shoes get ruined. So it's like, it's a moment. It's definitely a moment. Any true fan cried. If you did not cry, you are, I don't know, because I was in tears, okay? I was in tears the whole ending of the episode. Cried the whole second episode. Like, it was just rough for me. It was definitely rough. I don't know how I even managed through to even watch it because it was definitely a lot to take in. A lot of people are talking about it and I'm going to address it. Why Carrie did not call 911. Let's be real, okay? If that was, clearly Big was already dead. Like, he was dying, you know what I mean? And I think her mind was just like, I gotta be with him. You know, I can't say that my first instinct would be to call 911. I'm not gonna say it would be, because I would just be in so much shock that I would just want to, like, oh my God, run to the person's aid. You know what I mean? Like she did in the episode. So I can't say I blame her. Like, I can't. Like, I can't. Like, I get it. I get it. And again, it wasn't meant for him to be saved. He had to die. You know what I mean? That was the point of the show. So everybody was like, oh my God, why didn't she call 911? Oh my God. He wasn't meant to survive. Clearly, if they're killing him off. So, you know, I feel like that was definitely a risky move from all of the cast, because if you don't know, Sarah Jessica Parker, Kristen Davis, I forgot the other woman's name, Cynthia Nixon, they're all executive producers of the show. So for you all to literally kill off a main character, that is a bold move. And that's how I know this series is going to be top tier, because you start off the first episode with the freaking bang. Period. All right, now to address the second episode. The second episode is basically, you know, Carrie, she's in grief, but she's not crying, and she just looks very stone cold, you know? And I feel like a lot of the, you know, fans, including myself, were just wondering, like, why are you not crying? Why are you so cold? And, you know, but I feel like she was still in shock, because it's like, what? I just lost my husband. Like, how did I get here? You know? And I feel like that was her whole, like, mindset, because, child, I would be throwing myself against the wall. Like, I don't know what I would be doing if that happened to me. That was just, it was too much to handle, and I think she just didn't know how to cope with it. You know what I mean? But what I can say is I hated how Charlotte was in the second episode. I want to strangle her, because I felt like she just made it all about her. Like, you are not mourning big. Carrie is. You're crying, you're sad, you're all of these things, and I get it. I get it. You feel like if you didn't invite Carrie to the recital for Lily, he would still be alive. And to me personally, where's the lie? Okay? Because I see it this way. If Carrie went to the Hamptons with Mr. Big, you'd be alive. I'm sorry, Charlotte. Yes, I'm blaming you for Mr. Big's death. It is what it is. But I'm sorry. I said what I said. But I just feel like, you know, Charlotte was very annoying, and she just wasn't a good friend. I feel like Miranda really stepped up. She was just there for her and just really held it down. I love Miranda. Like, she was always the, I'm a suck it to your friend. Like, I'm going to give it to you straight, but I'm going to always hold your hand along the way. I loved Miranda so much. But definitely Charlotte was annoying the hell out of me in the second episode. Now we're going to address the funeral clearly. To me personally, them showing that Samantha sent Carrie flowers and not showing up at the funeral, to me personally, I felt like they should have did some type of monologue where they had like somebody who was in a blonde wig, or even on the phone, that spoke to Carrie like, I can't come, but, you know, I want to send my condolences and blase, to, you know, show some type of something. Or not even send the flowers at all, personally. Because I just feel like, why write Samantha in if she's not really there? You know what I mean? Like, that's just what I felt with it. Like, I just felt like it meant something, but it wasn't enough to me. To touch on the eulogy of Mr. Big. Personally, didn't care for it. I felt like they could have did a better eulogy than that, but it made me cry. You know what I mean? Because it was a moment. It was definitely a moment. But I definitely would say it was a beautiful funeral. I loved how she just made it so simplistic. Mr. Big, simplistic. He was very simple. He was very chill, very laid back type of man. So the funeral would definitely suit Mr. Big 1,000%. 1,000%. I definitely loved the way Carrie did it. I loved her attire during the funeral. It was everything. She looked, and like she said, she wanted to do him proud. And sis, you did him proud. He would be looking down on you like, my wifey did that. Period. But yes, the funeral was definitely beautiful. It was sad, you know, even though it's a fictional character, it was really, really sad. Like, whew, definitely didn't think it was going to be that heartbreaking, but it definitely was. Definitely was. All right, so we're going to touch on the third episode. I'm only going to say one thing about the third episode because to me, it was only one thing that really pissed me off. Big's will. Why in the world did Big feel the need to leave Natasha $1 million? If you do not know who Natasha is, she is Big's second wife, okay? That's the one he cheated on with Carrie in the series. It was a mess. It was a mess, okay? A complete mess. I just felt like Big didn't need to do that. And I get it. It was his way of saying, I am sorry for cheating on you. But to me, $1 million, yeah, no, I'm so sorry. And then you see Carrie stalking Natasha because clearly she feels like, you know, Big had something going on with Natasha. But, you know, of course she clears that up and says she hasn't seen Big since they got divorced. But at the same time, Natasha definitely lets Carrie know, like, hey, I don't even know why Big married me when he was always in love with you. So we get back that little moment of knowing that, you know, he's just not all ain't-ish. Because there's a part where Carrie is sitting on the steps and she's talking to Miranda and she's like, you know, I forgot how I felt all those years ago of Big, the way Big made me feel. And literally he made me feel like our love wasn't enough by doing what he did. And I genuinely had a moment where I just felt so bad for her, because if you watch the series and some of the moments where Mr. Big was so cold to her, even when he told her that he was marrying Natasha, like, it was just so like, I want to punch you in the face. You know what I mean? Like, you couldn't commit to Carrie, but you could commit to everybody else. It was one of those things. And for him to be dead and make her feel like that, it was just, oh, I hated it so much. I really, really did. I really hated it. But at the end of the day, you know, Carrie's rich. Like, she's rich, because clearly Mr. Big was a very, very wealthy man in Manhattan. So even though he gave her $1 million, Carrie's hella loaded, so it doesn't really matter. Like, she still has millions of dollars left over from the death of Mr. Big, so she could shy off $1 million. But I feel like I wouldn't have gave it to Natasha. I'm sorry, will or not, but that's just me. Because that's his ex-wife. I'm not giving you nothing. And anybody who knows, you know, Carrie is Mr. Big's third wife. Not the first, not the second, third. 3 times the charm, right? All right, so my final thoughts on this show is, I feel like it's going to show us how Carrie navigates through grief, how she navigates through life, learning new things, adapting to the new day and age. I feel like it's so much that we're going to see. I'm excited. I'm definitely excited. I'm definitely sad that, you know, Mr. Big is gone. I'm definitely sad that we will no longer see Willie Garrison, who is played, his character is Stanford Blatch, which is Carrie's best friend. He's in the first 3 episodes, but we will no longer see him after that. So I would love to see how they're going to explain him no longer being on the show, because he actually has passed away in real life. R.I.P. Willie Garrison, you will be missed. But I definitely can say, I know the show is going to go in a beautiful direction. It's only 10 episodes, so we have 7 episodes left to see how they wrap up the first season. Hopefully, by the grace of God, we get another season and so on and so forth. But I'm definitely excited to see how they end off the first season. I definitely will be tuning in. I might do a season finale update. I just go through the show, the next 7 episodes. I'm not going to do it the way I did it now. I just want to touch on the first 3 episodes because, child, the internet is in an uproar over And Just Like That. But that's the point. And Just Like That, you know, they want to give us something new, something fresh. Again, Michael Patrick King, Cynthia Nixon, Kristen Davis, and Sarah Jessica Parker. Y'all did that, okay? The fashion is giving. Love the fashion. Love where the ladies are at in life. And it's something that I definitely want to continue to explore. So bring it on, child. Just no more deaths. Because I can't handle any more deaths. Oh my God, I can't any more deaths. But please bring on what you have. I definitely love the new reboot, and I'm just happy to see where it goes. Guys, I hope you liked my little rant over this Sex and the City reboot, also known as And Just Like That. It was definitely fun doing this video because I've never done a reaction video to a show, but clearly the show means a lot to me. I am a diehard fan, always will be. This is one of my top 5 of shows. It's definitely in the top 3. Sex and the City is definitely my show. But I definitely want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on your bell notification so you do not miss another video. We are trying to take over the rest of the year and 2022. We are going to be dedicated to our channel. So guys, stay tuned. You guys know videos drop every Friday and Saturday. So stay alert. Every Friday and Saturday, a video will drop at 5 p.m. So keep your notifications on so you're aware when I get another video. I'll see you guys very, very soon.